Hello and welcome. I am Excellent, and this is my podcast. Today I have with me Brian from Diabolical Witness. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
And I have Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hi Trace, you okay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
Okay, so today is sort of a part two of my interview with Brian, a continuation of the interview, I should say, that I did with Jory. And today we're going to hit on a few different topics that we would like to discuss with Brian about what he's been up to recently and has coming up in the future. So, before we get started, if you would please give this video a thumbs up, that helps me very much. If you are not subscribed and you would like to be, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified when the content goes up, please go ahead and click that bell and choose what your option is. It can be every time my content goes up, or sometimes just pick whatever your preference is. All right. So, Brian, Rob doesn't know about your mirror.
Is he looking for a mirror? I could send it to
him. Would you like to describe this for him?
Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to. Glad to be here. Well, about a year ago, I've had a longtime friend. I've known him since I was about 16 years old. That's a very long time, if you're as old as I am. But he's always been very troubled with his past, and he confided in me about he grew up in a home where he believed his mother suffered from demonic possession. His brother believed it, and his father confided in him that he believed it as well on his deathbed. He didn't want to feed the paranoia while he was alive, apparently. But his father was a priest who had to give up the priesthood to get married, and they're very spiritual. So about a year ago, I did a full interview with Jason, and he describes it's on the my channel on the playlist called Interviews. It's a little
and
bit.
The name of your channel is Diabolical Witness.
That it is.
Okay.
And you'll see the interview with Jason Lee Stacy, survivor of demonic possession. Well, that's out there. It's real hard to listen, but check it out. But we'll come back around to modern times. About 4 months ago, this person's brother named Nick was moving, and he had a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of. And he had a mirror that I was drawn to, and he goes, "Oh, you want it? Just take it." Well, thank you. So I figured that looked nice in my living room. So I get it home, and I put it up against my entertainment center right under my television. And I think the first time the TV turned on was about 1 a.m. Thought that was kind of strange. It had never happened before. It's a television I've had for about 5 years, and I live on 1.5 acres. So the neighbors would have to have a really high-powered remote to turn on my television. Well, kind of freaked me out a little bit. Well, I'm used to this kind of stuff, so I turned the television off and went back to bed. It happened again before I even fell asleep. And so I got up, parked it on the couch, set up 2 cameras, and throughout the night, it ended up turning on 5 times. And I got some pretty good evidence on it. I filmed me using the remote, so you could see the infrared flash in the bottom right-hand corner. When the television turned on by itself, you can see it in the full view. There's no hocus pocus. There are no flashes. I think between the 3rd and the 4th, I unplugged it from the Comcast, the cable box. And at the very end, I just left the power on. And after it turned on for the 5th time, I went and got my black salt, exorcism salt, and put it on the mirror, and it stopped. It hasn't happened again since. Well, the next morning, I said, this is really crazy. I just went through, and I wanted to review the footage. And lo and behold, before the television turned on, I think it was the 4th time, I hear this chant, and it sounds like mumbo jumbo, like Equitas, Emporium, and then you hear the audio of the television come on. Well, I played it, I slowed it down, I increased the tone, I decreased the tone, I couldn't make sense of it. And before I threw that footage out, I played it backwards. And I got see me enter him, save him, clear as day, class A. There's no it's pretty clear exactly what it was saying. And that really scared me because you can see the television turn on. You hear it in the room, and then you hear the television audio. So the mirror has been, I couldn't part with it. I had it behind my couch where nobody could see it up until last night. And I hung it up in my living room. So kind of waiting for things to kind of break loose.
Why do you think you felt an attachment to it?
It's like finding something that's like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little foolish curiosity.
Do you think of immediately when you first saw it and you felt that attachment that you might have sensed that there was something with that mirror?
Yeah, of all the things, I wanted that mirror the most.
That's crazy.
It is.
So your friend's father was a priest.
He was.
He left the priesthood and married somebody who became demon possessed, or?
That's right. She would contort and crawl on all fours, I think upside down in front, chasing the kids. They would hide. And no matter where they hid, she would just go straight to them. And they both suffer, even to this day, with the childhood. I mean, I believe them. I
Right.
just really do. But
Wow.
I just can't imagine. Also, even us meeting was almost destined. It's kind of strange that he lived in a home where they had a manifestation. The refrigerators, this had multiple witnesses, refrigerator started shaking, sword fell off the wall. They had a cabinet that fell over. It was not an earthquake. Well, anyway, in high school, it's kind of strange. That home was demolished, but one of our best friends of our family bought that property. And later, Jason had told me about where this property was, and I said, I think I know the person who lives there. So sure enough, I was able to arrange a tour. But it's just the world's not that small, but we're definitely. It seemed like a coincidence to me.
That's really, really strange. Because I had an experience last night. Do you remember me telling you, Tracy, that Amanda had given me a mirror?
Yes.
Well, I've got that in my living room. And last night, because I got the times mixed up about the podcast. And so I fell asleep in the living room. The reason I was in the living room is because I've got my daughters here, and they were sleeping in the room sort of next door to me. So I came to bed after I spoke to you. You woke me up, actually, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I came into my bedroom. I closed the door. That my daughters insist that I close the door because they say that my snoring keeps them awake. But I was just sort of halfway between being awake and being asleep, and I could swear that I heard the door open. You know when you get that feeling of someone standing there. I was sure it was one of my daughters, and I didn't turn around. And then I just got this intense feeling that someone was watching me, was stood there watching me sleeping. So I sort of glanced over and saw that my door was still closed. And the girls had made me a Um, it's like a paper rosary that they'd made at school, and Amanda had made me this sort of a cross with my name on it just to go. It was initially for my car, but I don't have it in my car. Everything fell off the wall last night. For just fell off the wall. No reason at all. And it's funny because I was thinking about the problems that we had when we did the Demon podcasts. Could we be starting it? You know what I mean? Is it starting up again? I think it's a little bit of a coincidence that we're doing this tonight, and that happened last night. I don't know. Does Brian know what happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Brian sent me black salt and sage.
Ah, yeah.
You know, Rob, at 5:45 yesterday, when I was hanging that mirror, I was kind of bored, and I was saying, you can thank Rob for for being late or falling asleep for your freedom. I want to freak you out. Maybe it was grateful.
God. Oh, dear me.
Good job, Rob.
Thanks for that. So, how do you feel about the mirror now? Does it not scare you?
I think it does a little bit. That's why I like it so much. But I really can't say anything. It's not like what happened the first night I brought it home. I mean, I set it in front of my television, and within 6 hours, we had that monkey business going on. But I've been definitely walking on eggshells. I'll probably put up a camera in there tonight. We got some really new gear, some awesome gear that might do like a little miniature investigation tonight.
Can you tell us what your new gear is?
Oh my gosh! Well, the trip to Washoe, so much of my gear got destroyed that my infrared cameras, my flashlights, memory cards, batteries, my GoPro was damaged. I had to return it.
Wow.
But I have this new home security system with 4 cameras. And that's like, oh well, what's the big? But this has audio, and the audio is incredible. I have 200-foot cables. Just today, I'm building a Xbox Connect, Xbox One. It has it can detect fingers and faces now.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know about water scrying. There's so many things I want to try with it. In 360 version, you can only track 2 skeletons. With this, I can track between 4 and 8.
Wow.
So, who knows what I'm gonna detect with that. And got a REM pod. I'm doing rare earth magnet EMF generator tests.
Really?
Yeah, I have to get some new magnets. They slam together and they explode. So what you do is you put these on top of each other on a axis, and you rotate them, and it generates incredible EMF fields. The more powerful the rare earth magnets, the greater the EMF surge. I mean, theoretically, if you made something too powerful, you could potentially destroy circuitry.
Wow.
So those are a little illegal, but that's an EMP.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Right. I've always wanted to ask someone like you this. From our experience that we had, we know, me and Tracy know, and Tracy's family, that the whole demon idea is real. We are 100% that it is real. Does it not worry you? I'm really, really superstitious, especially about things like Ouija boards and um, African carved masks, peacock's feathers. I wouldn't have any of those in my house.
Oh, I've got all
So
that.
Hmm. Yeah, if you ever want to get Rob, send him a peacock feather.
does it not worry you? Is it like does it scare you that? Because to me, especially with the mirror, do you think it's almost like it's addictive, or
Oh, I would have to say yes.
Mm.
does that not scare you though?
You know, if it was interfering with me with my happiness, I would probably be terrified. But I've always been able to put my foot down and kind of back off. You know, when it gets
Yeah,
all intense, and it has. With
Hmm.
my issue with Paul got really intense. I had to.
Hmm.
That was an issue.
Hmm. Do you what does your daughter think about this?
Oh, I shield them from a lot of this.
Okay.
Um, you know, like my daughter's not really religious, but you know, I do things like I put a Bible in her room, and you know,
Hmm.
I keep her shielded from the more negative, and
Hmm. And does she have any experiences?
just the shared ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's I took my oldest daughter and my youngest to the Fairview Insane Asylum, and I don't know. My youngest daughter, she might be sensitive. Uh, she was just saying she's not really liking this place, and she got a nosebleed that wouldn't stop. We had to just
Mm.
I had to tear my shirt off and use it. She was losing so much blood. So, and that has
gosh,
never happened. It's not typical. Okay. She's not a bleeder. Um, so I definitely don't take them to any places like that anymore. That was daytime. I figured it'd be a
Hmm.
fun trip.
Wow.
because
So with your new equipment, do you think that you'll be using it for videos?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is all ready to go. I just need to assemble the new SLS, and I'll
Hmm.
probably do that tonight. Got little goodies. You might recognize this from TV shows. REM
Hmm.
pod. Always
Hmm.
wanted one of
ah,
those. Yeah, really excited to use some of this new gear. But the SLS I'm really excited about because I have some software that I can look only for faces. I don't have to look for just skeletons,
That's neat.
and that is so scary. Um,
Yeah.
also, also with Ghostbox and EVPs, I'm setting up this new um, voice to text, and I don't see that being done anywhere.
Hmm.
So when I do Ghostbox sessions, I want to have a window in the screen that shows what Windows thinks is being said.
Right.
So that could kind of be a little bit more of a hedge against pareidolia.
Hmm.
hmm,
You definitely know it was clean.
That's interesting because sometimes when on those ghost shows, sometimes when they interpret what they think they heard, viewers interpret it differently.
What happens to
Um,
everybody? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes if we're watching them, I'll say, "Well, I feel like I heard it say whatever," and I'll listen to it, and I can see where they get what they heard, but I feel like I heard something differently, and so it'll be interesting to have a completely objective view of what something like a program thinks it's hearing.
Well, exactly. Especially EVPs off here like DR60 or whatever.
Mhm.
That's really criticized. That would give it a little bit more credibility.
Mhm.
Internal noise from a 1990s recorder is actually making intelligent sentences
Mm.
that Windows would actually agree.
Wow.
So watch for
Well,
that. That's going to be coming very soon.
yeah, and that's Brian's channel again is Diabolical and do go and look at his videos. He is Brave.
Scared half to death. I almost had to leave that Washoe.
Can you tell us about that? Because I don't know if Rob knows about it.
Oh, it just terrified me to death. So I figured, what's the scariest place in the world for me? It's the Washoe Club in Virginia City.
Yeah.
It's so big. It's 10,000 square feet. If you're on the third level and you break your leg and you're screaming for help, nobody's coming. There's no cell signal. I
Wow.
mean, uh, and you're alone in there. It's haunted as I'll get out. I believe it is. I've captured a lot of stuff there. But I'm on the third level, and I have one flashlight and a camera, and the flashlight stops being a flashlight and turns into a strobe.
Mm.
Turns off for a period of time. Here I'm, just shaking it. Um, was trying not to panic. Stayed pretty cool. So the flashlight turned back on as a strobe light. I was able to get downstairs. All my flashlights were like that. And to this day, they're all damaged. Um, most of my footage ended up being blank. I recorded 8 hours of blank.
Wow.
Oh,
My 4K camera, I recorded lines through it. And what happened is the memory card and both the battery were destroyed. Then the next night, I stayed at the miner's cabin. So much of my gear was broken, I didn't realize that I had 8 hours of blank tape. So I got 8 hours of blank tape again.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really spooky, but I wanted to do that alone. I think that the fear is a beacon, and
Right.
that's a good way of putting it.
you should try it. Yeah, it seems to work.
Mm. I think I have. I think it's tried me. I would be interested to see. I can't get over the mirror.
Yeah.
It seems like a very logical thing that would keep a presence in it because of reflections. And when somebody looks into a mirror, it's a what am I trying to say? It's a time when you're susceptible. You're looking when you look in a mirror, you're looking generally, how do I look? Are there flaws? What's wrong with me? What needs to be fixed? And it feels like those kind of feelings. And there's plenty of religions that cover mirrors.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, so
Yeah.
I would love to see if the face recognition ever came up with anything from a mirror. Wouldn't that be creepy?
Mm.
A lot of when they do a lot of groups when they do cleansings, they have to cover the mirrors.
Mm, right. That
Sometimes they,
makes sense. Plus, it's a vanity kind of a thing. I know that like during viewings of bodies and stuff, some religions will cover the mirrors so that you don't have vanity. Um, and so I don't know. I think that mirrors could really hold on to your most inner feelings about yourself.
Well, we was talking about this, weren't we? Not so long ago. My one side of my family, because I'm Catholic, but we had when my uncle died, they had the body at the house,
Mm-hmm.
which they don't really do. It doesn't really happen anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and all the mirrors are covered there, because they believe that the soul, if you don't cover the mirrors, the soul will get trapped and won't move on. But
Mm.
yeah, we don't have death in the house anymore, do we? It's all
Right.
clinical and it's all very um, it's all very away from
Removed.
not removed. That's the word I'm looking for. Because yeah, have you ever had a relative been laid to rest or put out in the house until the funeral.
No.
No, but it's a tradition in my family that
Ah,
if we have a relative who's died in the hospital, in my family, the family goes to the hospital and we stay for several hours with the body before they take it. We did that. I've done that with my mother, my grandfather. Um, I was too young with my great grandparents, but the rest of my family did go, which seems like, I don't know. Now that I say it out loud, it seems like maybe an odd um, thing, but um, my family came from Germany, and I think it was very common then to
yeah.
have the bodies in the
Mhm.
house. So I think that was the tradition. And so since they were at hospitals, they did the same tradition. They just did at the hospital, and you just stay around the body and you talk about the person, and they pray, and but a lot of it is talking about the person, which I found to be kind of comforting. I don't know.
Mm,
So
yeah.
there's my strange family tradition, but does give you like some, it does give you some closure. You do see that the person is gone, you know.
Yeah. I think it helps you move on as well.
Yeah, I think it does, and makes it a little less frightening, maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. So will you tell us about your viral video, Brian? Because Brian's
Oh,
famous now.
yes. Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Okay, well, there's a channel called Shield of the Sun, and really out there stuff. I don't think he gets enough credit, but I mean, real entertaining. He made the original video, "Demons Are Real," and what it is, it's a, it's a, it took the silent videos from Mark Apollison's channel. It was called The Haunting, and he's famous for those fake haunting videos with his daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, so what he did is he made a video and just sort of did a dramatization of it, and I thought it was the scariest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I really did. Well, he took it down because Mark sued him,
Mm.
and so I was really kind of saddened about that. A buddy of mine found it on a copy of it on some rogue channel, but Shield of the Sun didn't want any part of it. So what I did is I redid it. I removed all of his fingerprints and
Mm.
posted it about a year and a half ago. And I thought, I did a pretty good job on this. It's a 34-minute uh, sort of a dramatization on an extreme oppression. I mean, you're
Mm.
just not going to get stuff like this. I mean, in real life. But after it was about 6 months old, I think it started May of this year, May 2nd. It just went viral. Ended up getting 340,000 views, 3.8 million minutes of watch time.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I had to answer. I answered every comment, but thousands of comments.
Oh, that was nice of you.
It was, yeah, very difficult. It was,
Yeah.
but well, I'd say about 30% of them were, yeah, not real nice. Difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But it still gets 22% of all the views watch the entire clip.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it went on for a month. It's still my number one video, but it's nowhere like what it was. But just it was an insane experience. It started out. I noticed that the algorithm was tweaking. Um, some of my dormant videos started um, getting double normal, huge amounts of views for a week, and they all had
Mm.
a common word in them: um, demons and possession. So
Oh.
I put demons and possession in this video's description,
Mm-hmm.
right before it went viral, and it just took off. I did that maybe May 1st, and the next day,
Really?
yeah. And so there's YouTube does a lot of weird things, but I was happy that this video got the attention it did. I think that it's a good piece of work. People are looking for a part two,
Oh.
but
And do you think you'll do something like that?
I might do a part one of something else because Mark sued me, and I think I made him about $10,000.
Oh,
I just
did
don't.
he monetize your video?
Uh-huh. The whole thing, even though
Oh.
you do like narration or use fair use,
Yep.
what they do is
Yeah.
they put three strikes against you on the same video. That way, if you object and you lose your channel.
Oh.
So I just said,
Wow.
hey, this is great. It's getting attention. I don't care. I just let
Right.
him have the monetization. But I think if
Right.
I do it again, I'm not going to have anything to do with the original footage.
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be something new.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could put clips together of your experiences
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
because
interesting.
you have a lot to draw from. Phil Collins monetized my video, Dick.
I've never been I've never had an issue with music. Uh, I think
I was
I've
like,
never used
Phil,
Phil Collins.
come on.
I don't think he needs the money.
He doesn't need the money. Is your channel monetized now?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I think
Mine
I've.
is too.
Hmm.
You want to know how mine got monetized?
Well, you were being punished for a while.
I was being punished. Yes, I was.
What did you
Um,
do?
nothing. Well, here's what happened. So I was being punished, and then to make matters worse, I put the introduction video up of my grandchild, and there was a complaint lodged against me. So on my channel for putting that video up, and so I was being investigated by YouTube. They went through every single one of my videos to make sure that I hadn't used anybody's faces without permission, or that my content wasn't about children, the whole thing. Um, so for quite a while there, I didn't know if I was going to even have a channel, and I couldn't really talk about it. So I wasn't monetized. So they went through my whole channel, and I couldn't get monetized. It would, even though I hit all the benchmarks, they would not monetize me. And I was requesting, you can request once a month, and I was requesting it once a month. Like, look at my stuff and see that it's not breaking any rules, but they wouldn't. But they had to go through, comb through every one of my videos, and I have a lot of videos up. So thanks for the views, guys. Um, some YouTube worker was slogging through my videos.
I'm sure he's a subscriber now.
I hope so.
Hmm.
And they monetized me after that. The video with my grandson was taken down. I don't refer to him. We call him the extra light baby now. And but it turned out in my favor because uh, ended up getting my channel monetized because they did have to comb through every one of my videos and found out that I could be monetized. So
That is so crazy. Some of the channels out there, people are breaking into buildings.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, with no trespassing, they're cutting locks. It's on film.
Hmm.
They're doing all kinds of illegal activity, and they're huge. Millions of fans.
Yes, yes. They filmed dead bodies in the Japanese forests.
Yeah.
The crazier, the more money you make. But then they were like, nope, you can't. We can't monetize you.
Well, you've seen the
And
bait truck.
yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah, right. So yeah, it turned out that I'm now a paid YouTube content creator. Woot! I mean, I don't get paid often, like maybe twice a year.
It's
But I just
$30.
if I
That's great. It's nice.
right. Well, what's funny
Well,
is
something.
that well I had so that you don't get your first check until you make $100, and and I had been monetized before when I first started, and I was at like $97 when they cut me off. It wouldn't monetize me anymore, and you can't get that money. So when they did monetize me within a few days, I ended up getting my first check. So, I, Rob, was I happy?
Very happy.
I
You're
want. I
being
was.
punished.
Yeah. I was watching. I was editing a video and I put it up and wanted to make sure everything, the sound was okay. And I came up with a commercial. I called Rob and I was like, "Oh my God, there's a commercial."
Hmm.
Anyway, so I'm glad that you are. Do they monetize all your videos, or do they? They're kind of hit and miss with mine.
Mine are all monetized, unless I do have a. They're going through my old stuff, and my old stuff I didn't have audio blocks. That means I didn't have background music that was legal for me to use.
Right.
And I figured it was obscure, a short little clip when I was
Right.
starting out. Well, they're starting to go through and go, well, we're going to do a clawback on that. You made $5. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
just take that from you. And
Right.
so that's fair, I suppose, but my new stuff, I'll make it 25 cents or whatever. And
Yep. Right. That's what I do.
Mm.
25 cents here and there, but it adds up eventually. But so you had, like, we discussed this with Jory when we were talking to Jory, that you actually had someone come into your house who
yeah,
recognized you.
yeah. The guy's working on my furnace. He comes in, he goes, he looked at me, and he was kind of looking at the kill room, and he's like, this looks really familiar. I got to talking, and I said, "What? My kill room?" He goes, "That's it. You're that guy." I don't make the pillows, but you're the first person to ever recognize me.
That's pretty neat, huh?
I was, and we live in a small town.
Hmm.
Just imagine if I went to like Tokyo. I don't know, be bedlam.
Right. Right.
Yeah, two people might recognize me.
You might get your autograph asked for.
Wow.
So, do you have any big plans coming up for ghost hunts?
I
And do you have
don't.
anybody that will take with you?
I'll take anybody with me that I can hold a camera steady.
Hmm.
Uh, it seems like every time I bring somebody, they're so scared. That's all you see is the camera just shaking. Just
Uh,
when they're looking at or they're filming the floor. Did you see that? Oh, I
right.
think it was in there. I really would love a professional camera.
Oh yeah.
So I think I would just
See.
take
I
their
wouldn't be
videos.
scared. Later is when I get scared. At the time, I'm just so focused. That it's mostly afterwards, like when we've done things like, well, when we went to the Witch's Gate, which, by the way, was also illegal, and I did get called by the sheriff's department.
Oh,
uh, yeah, I almost got killed by a train, but forget that. Um, there was on the, it's a house, it's a burnt down house, and on the back of it, we were filming it, and there was stuff drawn on the walls in fresh blood.
I saw that video.
Yeah, fresh blood. And I was so shaken up about the train.
That's
I
crazy.
was
I don't
less
recall the
concerned.
fresh blood.
Yeah, even have pictures.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can send you because I want to make sure I got still pictures of it too. That's right, because we were so well, everybody was shaken up about the train experience, obviously, because it was so crazy. And it was really funny because on our way to the Witch's Gate, we were stopped 3 times by that train on train tracks. And we were it took us an extra hour to get to where we were going. That's why it got dark much sooner than we were expecting, because we kept hitting this train at the train tracks and being stopped for it. And finally, the train actually just stopped on the tracks. So we had to drive around this whole extra distance because it's off of a highway. We had to drive around this whole extra distance to get there, and then the train was down from us stopped. So we were like, okay, finally. And then it starts to move, and my car was too close to the track. It probably would have been fine, but I wanted to be safe because somebody had just recently, the week before, in that small town, driven their car on a track intentionally when a train was coming. So I didn't want to freak the guy out, which is that was stupid because I freaked him out. So that's why I crossed back over and moved my car and then tripped and couldn't get up. So ended up really freaking him out. So we were all, I was uh, really going through shock because I was injured and bleeding profusely, and we still went and did it. So it's funny because in that video, we do not focus on the fact that it was real blood. It was fresh blood. Maya's boyfriend, well, Jeremy, wiped his finger through it and everything, and which means that there was somebody very close by there
So
while we were filming it. Yeah, watching us, and it didn't sink into us until later when we left. When we left, I threw up. I dropped to my knees before I could get to the car and was just, I felt like this, I don't know, I had to get something out of me from being at that house. It just felt like it was crawling up from in my stomach. And I just was just sick. And it wasn't, so we were still not thinking about all of it put together. Just that even as I was there, I like couldn't breathe. Um, I don't know how to explain it, but it really hit me because I feel like I'm kind of open to those things hitting me. And then later, when we go into the footage, we realized that we really didn't spend any time on the fact that there was fresh blood on that back wall, which was the actual scary part of that.
you just think that they could have been doing that, watching you guys approach.
Yes, and they had to have been because I mean it was you can see it that it's dripping, and it was like not really coagulated or anything. He just wiped his finger through it, and so yeah, they would have been there's it's flat out there, and they have cows out there, which was the real problem and why I got called by the sheriff because they still have laws against um stealing cattle. They can shoot you on site for that in Texas. So somebody was out there, and there was trees. There's a little bit, just a little patch of trees that had to have been where they were, or deep inside the house,
They got
which
your
we wouldn't
license
go
plate.
into. Huh?
So they got your license plate. That's how
They got my license plate. Yes.
that encounter with that train on your way to the site sounds like was that a fantasy type horror setup?
Yeah. What are those movies called? A
I don't
Final
know.
Destination.
Final Destination. That's it.
Yeah, well, everybody joked
Seeing
about
the
it that
train.
yeah, everybody joked about it that was our that we should have paid attention when you're getting that many clues to go away, go away, go away. Maybe you should go away. But yeah, Jeremy's on that video and he goes, "Oh, here," because we couldn't figure out how to get in. He goes, "Oh, look, this wire's been cut." He lifts it up.
Wow.
So yeah, the sheriff was like, we like it when people go ahead and put their crimes on YouTube.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, thanks for that. Watch though. Hope you click that like button. Oh boy, I learned my lesson. I did.
We need to get Rob out there, do some of those, film some of those visits to Cornwall.
Yes, I know. Well, Rob is going to be going out to one of the really old graveyards for me.
Is he
Yeah, the
gonna
one in,
Yes, he's going to get some footage.
yeah, it's the one we've got a really old church in the town, and obviously really old graveyard. So we're gonna Um, spend some time there. Just see if we get anything. But you're hoping to come and visit, aren't you, next year? So
Yes.
Oh,
I'll be able to
exciting.
take you up on the
Yes.
moor.
Oh,
And
I'm gonna get a lot of footage. I'm
You're
gonna
going to
go.
see that cat.
I
mm,
know. You know, it's funny because my favorite book is The Hound of the Baskervilles, and that's where that is set. So I would love to go out there and film, and love to go to Penzance.
yeah,
So if
Jamaica Ian.
Jamaica in, yeah. So if we do go, end up going next year, I'm gonna have a lot of footage about. That's what I'm gonna spend my time doing. Is
Mm.
a lot of ghost hunting stuff. Make Rob go with me. Hold the camera steady.
Oh, will do. Don't worry about that.
Or give him a tripod, but there's nothing worse. And I get so many gripes about shaky video.
Oh,
Just say, sorry, be
what do
sure to
they
like.
expect? Yeah, be sure to like. Thanks for that view.
Aaron from
Well,
Ghost Adventures was filming. I'm sorry, it's just jerking out, shaking it at.
Hmm.
Just go in that basement and provoke the demon. I went ahead and sacrificed some animals. So just go in there tonight, and we'll see you in the morning.
yeah.
Provoke the demon
Don't shake though. Don't shake.
and keep that camera still.
Yes. I would love
Oh
it if you
dear.
came here and did a Texas killing fields.
I was so close to doing that this month. Just didn't
That
work out with my new job and everything.
no,
I
you
would
got a
have
new
def
job.
Oh yeah, always up and up and up, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, you gotta know when it's time to go.
Well, I think that would be an incredible place
I just
to.
know there are so many bodies in there. They
I
haven't
know.
found them all. I mean, you know
I
they're there.
know. Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's a that would be a ghost hunt that you'd have to actually be fully aware of your surroundings so that you don't become a victim. Because even as of 2008, there was 2018. I mean, there was been bodies dumped out there, and they
There's
think that it's more than one serial killer.
generations of them.
Yeah, which is that to me is fascinating. Um, that's fascinating to have it be more than one, and I don't know. Just I think I would go. I feel like I would need to go there during the day, especially being a woman because they don't last very long.
What are you talking about, Chase?
The Texas killing fields. Remember, I told you down by Houston. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, when Josh was down there for a tournament, we wanted to go, but I was right smack in the dab of hitting my health issues,
right.
so I couldn't go. But I wanted to go during the day, not at night. I wouldn't take my family there at night.
Yeah, I think I left you a get well message, and I said I hope she gets well soon because her and James were going to take me to the Texas killing fields, but not leave me
Yes.
there.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Yes. Oh man, I think that would be because the most of the victims are young girls.
And they
There's
look so
very
much
few
alike.
there. Yes.
It's all what white girls that I've seen,
Yes. Yeah.
brown to blondish hair. I mean,
Yep.
it's crazy, and this has been
Yep.
going on for so long. There are so many girls that are local to that area that they just
Yes.
just vanished. Some of these
Yeah.
people have been found buried. Maybe
Yep.
some are buried well.
Yep.
It's just horrible.
It's so crazy because it's visible from the freeway. There's a factory behind it, but it's surrounded by tall trees. So even if you can see it from the freeway, it's like you're on the freeway. You're only seeing it for half a second. So you're not the it's a perfect spot because you can take somebody out there, dump them out there, get on the freeway and leave.
Isn't it about
Hmm.
20 acres or something large?
Yeah, it is.
So you
But
could be
most of
behind
them
a
are in a
hill digging.
concentrated. Yeah, right. But most of them are in a very concentrated area, which is
Oh, that's freaky.
Yeah, it's a very, very concentrated area that seems to have some meaning. I don't know. You know, another interesting spot that I would like to go to is that I was reading this. I was watching this documentary about, there's a serial killer in New York who's been dumping bodies along the water for like what 10 years now. And when it first happened, they found like 9 bodies right off in like the first 2 weeks. Boom, 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 boom. And then it kind of stopped. They stopped kind of talking about it as much. And I was watching this documentary, and they were saying that in Oklahoma City, every major freeway in this country goes through Oklahoma City for trucking, and that um, in the trucking industry, it's a well-known fact that some people are truckers for a reason. They want to be, they like the solitude. They don't want to be accountable, and that they can hear these conversations between them where they feel like maybe they feel like they've kidnapped people, and they all cross paths in Oklahoma City. And so somebody who's gone missing from Oregon will end up in Massachusetts, and they're not identified because the wanted posters are in Oregon, not Massachusetts.
That is so scary. On the West Coast, we're getting feet washing up.
Right, yes.
You probably should do a show on that. But there's been 20 something feet in the shoe. They
Yeah.
just wash up on the shore.
Yeah. I think I did a podcast, not a podcast, a story about that, and they excuse it by saying they were suicides. But no feet match each other.
Yeah.
And it seems like if it was a suicide, dude, out of all those, you'd at least get one pair, right?
Yeah. Well, and then that's all they're finding.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of, I thought they were sawed off, but
They say what's happened is they must have jumped off a bridge somewhere, went straight down, their legs broke, and so it's floating up because their tennis shoes float. But I really feel like sometimes we are given excuses that make us feel better. You know what I mean? Like with national parks,
oh,
where
absolutely. I don't buy half that stuff.
yeah, I think we're given excuses that make us feel better and make us go to bed at night and sleep better. So yeah, that would. I got so many places that I would love to go and just feel and investigate because we spend a lot of time in Oklahoma City with my son's uh, sport that he does for the
Hmm.
Junior Olympics, and I won't even stop there now. But I feel like the feeling you could probably get some serious voices and feelings and Rob says I'm not allowed to say that every trucker's a serial killer.
No.
Well, there was one in UK just this week.
Yes, Rob.
What was it, 30 something bodies or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Frozen?
Yeah.
That's a little creepy.
Right. So, so you don't have any places that you're going to go coming up immediately,
I think I'm going to go back to the White Eagle. I
are
want to
you?
do it solo this time. That's the brothel. That's the McMinimums. It's a
Yes.
brothel, pub. Well, it was a brothel. Now it's a hotel and a pub. But yeah, it's real hard to get good evidence there because they play music until late at night. But this time of year, I can usually call and ask them if they have any vacant, if they have anybody on the second floor. I can probably
Mm-hmm.
have the whole floor to myself.
Mm. Wow. And that doesn't scare you.
The White Eagle is right up there with Washoe. It's really creepy. The things that it sounded like we were talking to the brothel workers and their staff. when we
Wow.
were there through the ghost box. Just some of the most incredible full-on sentences coming out of the ghost box. And we didn't have all this other fancy gear.
So it'd be neat to go back there with all the new gear you have.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. Well, I would look forward to that. So, Rob, do you have any more questions?
Yeah. Brian, how do you feel about the? I know I always go on about this about Ghost Adventures, the stone tape theory, residual hauntings and intelligent hauntings and things like that. Do you think there's any sort of substance behind that, or do you think it's just people's imagination?
No, I think it's real. The reason I say that is because I've been to White Eagle 3 times, and the type of nasty things that I get there, I've never got anywhere else. Um, it's very different than when I do a session at home, and it's different when I do the Casa Grande, or
Yeah.
Fairview. You get some. There's some commonalities, but they all seem to have a very unique imprint.
Mm. You said when you do them at home. See, that would be one thing. That would
That
be
scares you. I know.
yeah. I could live with the fact that the haunted house down the road was somewhere to go and find ghosts and get evidence, but I think I would be scared to do it in my own home.
It
I
is.
think
I've done some testing with religious icons like holy water, crucifix, and reading of scripture. Um, had some very. I brought that out once, and I put the cross up, and I held up 3 fingers, and I got Trinity, and within 30 seconds, I got number 3 repeated twice, and I got He's saving, and also the sun has risen, and just it's just amazing how you can get some relevant um, feedback, with some icons. I removed them, and I didn't want to really do that too much, but it does seem quite a coincidence if it's not real.
yeah. Do you know you were saying about um, you think your daughter might be sensitive?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the or listened to the video about my daughter and about
Oh,
the
yes.
orbs.
She saw the orbs, and you could see it
Well,
on video only.
I I can I can only see them on the screen,
Yeah.
but she can see them just with a naked eye, and she can point them out. Like I can see them in one place on the screen, and she will point to where it is. Obviously, she can't see the screen because I'm in front of her. Um, do you think she could be a little bit sensitive, or
Most definitely. Um, I haven't really done this with my daughter, but I've never done a ghost box session with my daughter, or even facilitated that. But I might give her the EVP recorder and just have her ask some questions, and then bring me the recorder back.
Hmm.
She
yeah,
doesn't
that's a
have
good
to know.
idea.
She doesn't have to know what's on there.
Right, right.
See, I only get orbs in the house when my daughters are here. Is that not weird? I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know if it's my paranoia, but since I put that mirror up, I've been seeing these white lights shoot across the hallway rather quickly, um, almost from the corner of my eye. So we'll be putting the camera up there. I'll be sharing that real soon if I get anything.
that's so strange.
If you do want a mirror, I just need your address. I will ship it to you.
No, you're okay, mate. Thank you.
Oh, come on, Rob.
I've got Tracy's address, though.
No,
I wouldn't
thank you.
send it to her. No more of that.
No, no. I'm good. I'm good. Do you have any more questions, Rob?
No, that was my last one. It's been
Okay.
interesting.
Brian, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Oh no, I'm getting a sore throat, but I'm so tickled to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and Rob.
I really appreciate you coming on, especially twice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Well, you let us know if you get anything from that mirror tonight, would you please?
I will. I think I'm going to be recording on the new SLS, and I'll put up some infrareds, up one down the hallway and one on the mirror, maybe from a different angle.
Uh, yes, I'd love to see that. All right, well, good luck to you. And
Good
I
luck,
mean,
mate.
good luck.
Thank you. More to come.
All right. Good night, you guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night.